This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 311 of the Dressage Radio Show on the Horse Radio Network, brought to you by Equine Performax, by Meta Dewormers, and TotalSaddleFit.com. This week, Reese and Phillip talked to Dr. Mark of Equine Performax about the Aqua Pacer, dressage rider Genay Vaughn on her trip to Europe, and Reese and I get to talk to Phillip's mom to find out what a bad boy he was growing up.
This is Reese Koffler-Stanfield from Georgetown, Kentucky.
And this is Phillip Parks from Fergus, Ontario, and you're listening to the Dressage Radio Show with our host, producer, all-around good guy, Glenn.
Hey! Good to talk to you again, guys.
How are ya? How you doing?
Good.
You guys
Excellent. Been busy. You've been away?
I have been away. Travis and I actually went on a real vacation. I do not think I saw a horse for 10 days.
No shopping, no horse shopping, nothing?
Actually, yeah, we did go horse shopping. We went to a tack shop. We went to France. One of my dear friends was getting married. And in France, she's French. Cool. And she was an exchange student here our senior year. And we stayed really good friends. She lived at a farm like right down the road from me. So I sort of, initially, I was just asked to do all the driving. And so we became very, very good friends. And we've remained good friends now, for a couple of years since high school. And she invited us to the wedding. And, I talked to her probably once a week still through Facebook. And I'd never met her children. And it was really, really fun. I mean, how often can you go to an actual French wedding? So we had a ball. We did Paris and the Louvre and the Orsay Museum, and we went to the catacombs, and just really enjoyed Viva la France. We enjoyed everything. It was great. We had a ball.
Awesome.
I saw you did a selfie with the Mona Lisa.
We did. Yeah. I think everybody did a selfie with the Mona Lisa. Yeah, it's so funny.
I want to say something. You're much prettier. Much prettier.
Than the Mona Lisa.
Yeah, they should have painted you.
Glenn, why are you trying to score points today?
Oh, thanks, Glenn.
What did you do?
He's my good friend.
Okay. Glenn, that's so nice.
And
yeah, it was fun. Did you see also, we may have to post it on Facebook. We were in a museum, and Paris is such a cool place because it's so international. I mean, there's, there are people from all over. And there was one statue, and unfortunately, I don't know the name of it, but it looks like the statue is holding a tablet, but it looks like a phone. So I look up, and Travis was being silly, and he walks up along with probably 5 other gentlemen of all different races and height, and they all do the same pose as the statue. And I'm telling you, it's the phone guy. It was hilarious. I mean, it was just great, and it was one of my favorite moments. It was really funny, but the Louvre is just such a cool place, and we spent a day there actually. But it's and we saw like a wing. It's like so much. But
yeah, you can't do it.
Really did you eat at every pastry shop in France?
Oh yeah, pretty much. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did. It was great. We did. But the good thing about where we were is we walked a ton, so it was good because there wasn't too much damage done to the waistline. Maybe a little, but not too much because we just walked a ton. So that was fun. And then we went up to Deauville, which is actually, there's a race course there, and there was a horse show going on, a jumping show. So where there's a race course, there is a tack shop. So of course, I went to the tack shop, and I met actually some people that have a connection here to Lexington. So it was pretty cool. So, the horse world is so small. Yeah, so small. So it was pretty cool. So we had a big time. So I did go to a tack shop, as we all would. I needed a few things that you can only get in Europe. So that was pretty fun. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then yesterday I saw pictures of something that was so cool. Make-A-Wish is my favorite charity, and you got to work with them granting a wish. Tell us about that.
I did. So we got home on Sunday, and I got an email while I was in France. There was a young lady who her wish was to come to Kentucky and to be a horse trainer. And so I said, absolutely, we'd love to have her. And it was fantastic. She came yesterday at 2:00, and the news cameras and all. I didn't realize quite so many people were going to come, and it was wonderful. Her name was Mary, and it was cool. She went to the tack shop and got all new equipment to ride, all new helmet and boots and breeches and all kinds of things. She wore her clothes. She was so excited. And a couple of my girls, we gave a little lesson, but I could tell she really wanted to ride. So one of my dear clients has a wonderful Frisian. And I tell you what, horses are amazing creatures, and he couldn't have been more perfect. Merlin, Magical Merlin is his name, actually. We just adore him. He's a wonderful horse, actually. And he was perfect because there was quite a lot of cameras and flashes and people moving around, and he did. And she jumped right up there. Her aunt, actually, she was very comfortable around the horses, which was really cool. And she jumped right up on Merlin, and we rode around the ring, and we talked about some dressage letters and riding corners. And so we did a lesson, actually. And it was just really one of those special moments in life where you just are so thrilled that I could share what I do every day and share my facility and my horses. And everybody got treats. I don't think I've given out so many treats. The horses were very, very into it at the end of the day. We used a whole tub of stub muffins, but that was totally fine.
Oh, you know what happens the next day? They're looking for those treats.
They're looking for treats.
And they're like, why was yesterday special and today not special?
Bring that kid back.
Yeah, we loved her. So it was really a special day. And, I was thrilled to help the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And I'll tell you what, if there's ever a charity that you would like to donate, it's a really cool thing. So we were thrilled to grant Mary's wish of being a horse trainer in Kentucky yesterday. So it was really neat. It was a neat day.
Good for her.
Fun.
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, really fun day. So I think our team got as much or more out of it than she did. So it was really cool. So if anybody can ever get involved, please do, because it's pretty neat.
All right. Well, I think before we get to the show today, I just wanted to run through a few scores because last weekend we were at Palgrave, which is they're hosting the big CDI and they're doing team selection and lots of international riders. All our Canadian riders are back from Florida, and it's our first show, and the weather was beautiful, and it was really fun. So really exciting. In the Pre-St. George, Diane Creech and Robbie W. won with a 70%, followed by Chris Van Martels and Silver Star, Brittany Fraser and All In, Shannon Dewick and Contaris. So that was a really nice St. George. I got to watch quite a few of the rides in between coaching my own students and running around and doing my own thing. So it was a good show. The I-1 was won again by Diane Creech and Robbie W., Brittany Fraser, All In, Shannon Dewick, Contaris. Leslie Reed is here from the West Coast, so that was fun. She was fourth in that class. And then we'll just run to the Grand Prix. Belinda Trussell was the winner with Anton. I really love that horse. And
that's a lovely horse,
really great combination. Then Megan Lane and Caravella.
Also, she's been on the show, yeah.
She went to the World, she went to the World Games and stuff. Lauren Semis was here from the U.S. And then Jackie Brooks in fourth. And then the special was won by Belinda as well. And then Jackie Brooks, Crystal Boylan's here. Like all our best riders are all in town, sort of thing, getting ready for the Pan Am. So that's really fun. The Cur de Music was won by Megan Lane. So congratulations to all those riders, and I mean there were really big classes in the CDI, and it was a really fun show.
Excellent.
The next scores I wanted to bring up is Munich, because all the American riders are in Germany right now doing a really good job, because Kim Herslaw won the Pre-St. George with a 71.15%, and Sabine Schutt-Carey was second in the St. George, and then the first European rider in the class was third here, Patrick Vandermeer, Coco Chanel, and then Olivia Lagoya-Welts was fourth, and then Casey Perry was fifth. So all of those U.S. riders right up there in the top, doing awesome in the beginning to the European Tour. And then let's see, Grand Prix, the 3-star was won by Dorothy Schneider with Saint Emilion. And then here's Stefan Peters, second with Rosamunda in the 3-star. And then third, Jessica von Bredel-Verndl, who we saw at the World Cup, does a really beautiful job, was third. Isabel Vert was fourth. Alison Brock, fifth.
Fantastic.
And then your next American rider was 10th, Casey Perry. And then let's run down here. Kathleen Rain was 13th. So, all the Americans up there in the top in the European competition. So, you guys are doing all your preparation to come to Canada.
Oh, yeah, that's very fun for us. We're watching and cheering everybody on for sure. So we love it. So good for them, and we'll keep it up, and we'll try and get Olivia on or Kim, both really good friends of the show, to give us an update on what it's like over there. So their pictures are beautiful. They're at a really beautiful place in Bavaria, and looks like they're doing really well. So we wish them continued luck.
Perfect. Well, I guess we'll get to the show right away here. Glenn, who's coming up?
Well, I think we'll start with Dr. Mark, who's going to join us here once a month and give us a little bit of he's going to go over therapies that you can do with your dressage horses when you're rehabilitating and for whatever injuries. And we're going to do a different one each month. And we're starting with a little water this time. So let's take a listen. Well, Philip and Reese, we want to welcome Dr. Mark from Equine Performax at the Jekyll Center, which is about 30 minutes south of Nashville, Tennessee, to the show. He's going to join us once a month for a little while to talk about different therapies that your horse can do to recuperate. Hi, Dr. Mark.
Hi there. How are you guys doing today?
We're great. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, Dr. Mark, tell us a little bit first, tell the dressage audience a little bit about the Jekyll Center and what you guys do there.
Well, as Glenn said, we're located 30 minutes south of Nashville, Tennessee. It's a beautiful facility that Andre and Teresa Jekyll have provided for us here. Outstanding arena and with footing. And one of the real emphasis that they wanted to put into effect here was rehabilitative therapy for our equine athletes. And so they put in all the modalities, the underwater treadmill, the cold water leg spa, the lasers, the therapeutic ultrasounds, you name it, we've got it. And they do it. We have two full-time therapists here that are well trained in their positions and do a great job and do a wonderful job. We also have a training facility here with a trainer, Michelle Zimmer, excellent trainer, been in the hunter jumper business in her entire life and does a terrific job. And then about a year and a half ago, I've been practicing here in the Nashville area for about 25 years. They asked me to move my practice into this facility and become acting director of the rehabilitative services along with our veterinary services. And it's just been a great situation to move into.
Dr. Mark, you have the dream veterinarian job. People bring their horses to you and leave them, and then you get to work on their horses and then send them home. And you don't have to leave the place. It's perfect.
It is. It I have to pinch myself every day when I come to the office. It's just been a real blessing to get to come to a place like this to work.
Well, I'll put links to the website at jekyllcenter.com. I'll put links on the website on the Facebook page. You have to go check the place out. It's absolutely stunning. Not to mention the concerts they get there with big names from Nashville coming in. It just looks like a fun place to be. And what we're going to do over the next couple of months is we're going to pick a therapy, and Reese and Philip are going to chat with you about it. And we're starting this month with the Aqua Pacer, which I've never had experience with, but Reese, I think, has. So tell us about that.
Well, it is an underwater treadmill. The horses actually walk into a container that is up to their it comes up, depending on the size of the horse, it'll take in the entire horse. And then they start walking, and then gradually the water fills, and it will fill up to, depending on the size of the horse once again, but most of them, even the large warm bloods, we can get them to up to the point of their shoulder. And with that, we're getting some real buoyancy, meaning that the horses are not completely floating like they would be in a swimming situation, but they are reducing the amount of weight that they're putting on their legs. So it reduces the concussive forces that their lower limbs are experiencing. It also, as the water fills, it's very interesting, and we use this a lot too. If we keep the water low, these horses have a lot of action and really increases their range of motion. If we have some horses that have some injuries where there is loss of range of motion, this is something that we can do to stimulate them to really flex and extend those joints to reestablish their motion in those joints. And then, of course, as we fill the Aqua Pacer, the resistance increases, and the horses have to work much harder. And even at a 2 to 3 mile an hour walk that we have them at, these guys are really doing a lot of work, and they really get to blowing and huffing and puffing. They get a real workout when they come out of the unit. Like I say, when we use it a lot for rehabilitating therapy, horses that are coming back from injury, but I like it also a lot, particularly for the dressage horse, just some of the older horses that don't need to be pounding around every day, but they need that exercise to keep strength up and keep their muscles toned up, so that it prevents instability around the joints. I think that's probably one of our biggest culprits when it comes to joint injury is instability around those joints. And these horses, you can't work them necessarily because you don't want to have the concussive forces on them. By doing the exercises in the treadmill, it keeps those muscles and the tendons and the ligaments tight and reduces the instability of a joint. So it's got dual purpose, not only for the horses coming back from injury, but also for those old campaigners that probably don't need to be pounding around as much as they are, but they need the continued work.
And we were talking off air on how the Aqua Pacer is so much better for dressage horses versus swimming. Can we talk a little bit about why you would choose to use the Aqua Pacer instead of the pool for the working horse? Right, exactly. In a swimming pool, these horses are going to be very inverted. They're going to try and keep their head up out of the water, and the head's going to go up, and the back's going to go down. And if you look underwater, what they're doing, they're really flailing around under there, just trying to keep swimming. So that inverting the back is really not what we're wanting to accomplish. It's not going to build those muscles that we're really looking for these horses to be able to move. Whereas in the Aqua Tread, they actually can flex their back, put their heads down, and really work through that water and really strengthen that top line, like we want to see these dressage horses have. So yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm a big believer in this much more over what you get from a swimming situation. Swimming has its advantages sometimes because you do get full buoyancy and there is no load. But in most cases, I'm really much more of a believer in the treadmill than I am than swimming, particularly for, as you said, Reese, for the dressage horse.
And can you talk to us a little about some of the most common dressage injuries? I'm talking, probably suspensories and soft tissue damage that this can help with bringing horses back from those type of injuries.
Right, absolutely. And as you said, suspensory injuries probably are the main thing that we see. And we'll here at the Jekyll Center, we're going to do a lot with those injuries, depending on how severe they are. We might be doing some regenerative cell therapy, PRP, stem cells, that sort of thing. And then along with that, we're going to be treating them with the initially the laser unit, trying to reduce inflammation, and I shouldn't say the laser unit, trying to reduce the inflammation, that sort of thing. And then we're going to come back. I really like using the therapeutic ultrasound. That really stimulates some healing. So once we get those horses to some degree of healing in there, we try and get them into that treadmill pretty quick, as opposed to the 3 or 4 months of stall rest hand walking. We're like to get them in there as quickly as a month out from the initial injury. But we have to watch those guys very closely with that, and that's where the girls do a great job of when those horses come out of the underwater treadmill. They're watching how they're going in there and how they're handling it. As they come out, they're checking those areas. If there's any heat or anything like that, if there's any concern, they'll bring them over for me to look at. We'll run the ultrasound on it here. We're able to repeatedly ultrasound those injuries and keep a very close eye on them and see how they're responding. So, but with the combination of the treadmill work and us keeping a very close eye on them, also the therapies like the laser unit, the therapeutic ultrasound, that sort of thing, we're able to get these horses back. I don't necessarily say quicker, but at the same time it is, because they're able to really go back to more work a lot quicker, and we're still giving it time for the full healing effect. But these horses are back to work much faster than what they'd be just with the old tried and true well, I back off that. Not tried and true anymore. The old type of therapy of stick them in a stall and then walk them and then gradually bring them back. We're able to get them back much quicker, and I think with a much sounder horse and much better healing than what we were getting just with the old just resting.
Well, in my opinion, it's about keeping the muscles to be able to support the joints to do their job. And when the horse is in a stall, all they do is nothing basically, and all the muscle goes away. And then you got to work to build that back up before you can start even thinking about the horse doing their job again. So
I agree 100%. It's not just healing up that area; it's keeping the rest of the body fit so that when they do go back to work, you don't have those other issues come up. Because, as you said, they lose fitness, they lose tone, they lose joint stability, and it predisposes them to injuries elsewhere besides what you're dealing with. So no doubt, having them in that treadmill prevents the other problems from coming up once you do come out of there and start going back to work. No doubt.
And Dr. Mark, explain to our listeners on how you get the horses in. I think it's really interesting to see you guys do it. So how does that work?
Well, it varies with individuals. Some horses are very good about going in there and just take to it, pardon the pun, like a duck to water. They just go in there and they handle it just fine. Typically, the first time in, it's going to be a process of maybe a little bit of sedation if the horse is kind of a bit nervous and not too excited about going there. A little high strung, exactly. And so we'll give them a little bit of sedation, and then we might walk them through. It's very much like loading into a trailer, So most of these horses are very used to that. Once we get them loaded in there, then we'll start off the treadmill, moving really slow, and then if they're handling that well, then we'll start filling it with water, and we won't get it too high to begin with. We like for them to splash around in there a little bit so that they're getting splashed in the face and that sort of thing. Let them get used to the water splashing up on their belly, on their legs, into their face, and that sort of thing. And they get accustomed to that. And most of them, 2 or 3 trips, at the most 2 or 3 trips in, they're to the point of going up to full depth and into full exercise in that thing. They really take to it quite well. We've had a few horses that were, just could not get them to relax in there, but that's been a very rare case. We've had one horse that he was quite the jumper. And,
he showed you, didn't he?
Yeah. He came out of there, but he wasn't hurt or anything like that. He did just fine with that. But it is a process of getting them used to it, and but most of them, like I say, take to it quite well.
So do you have horses coming into the Jekyll Center just, as part of their training, as part of their fitness routine to come in and use that AquaFit? Yeah,
that's we probably see about more of that actually than we do than we do injuries. Fortunately, we see an awful lot of horses coming here just to maintain level of fitness without doing all the pounding and that sort of thing on their own horses. Myself, I ride also, and the horse that I showed, he had quite a few injuries, and I was able to keep him fit enough to show, and at the same time keep him sound if we worked him to keep him fit enough. And we started putting him in the treadmill, and he really came on. He wasn't getting the pounding. He was getting fit without getting sore, and we started going to horse shows and doing quite well once he did that. So that is a big plus.
We were just curious on what is the cost per session to use the AquaPacer if you came to the Jekyll Center?
If it's on an a la carte kind of thing, the people hauling in, it's $50 to go into the treadmill.
Okay.
If they're
that's not that bad.
That's reasonable.
If they're here at the center for rehab, the fee is, and this includes every kind of therapy we have, it's $85 a day. And with that, a horse will go on the treadmill. He might go on a cold leg spa. He would have the MagnaWave therapy. He may have laser therapy. He'll spend time on the vibe plate. He gets all these different modalities for that one cost of $85 a day, which I think is, if you put it on a per
that's pretty awesome.
modality basis.
Yeah. Very reasonable.
Yeah, you can imagine that'd be 3 times that. So it's I think Teresa really wants to push forward with this and get people utilizing it more and recognizing just how important rehabilitative care is for your horse. And we have quite a few, several older horses that just live here and then do all the. They know their job. They don't necessarily have to have a lot of training, but they have to be fit and comfortable. And we have several horses that just live here and then pull out of here and go to the horse show. They are ridden some, just because we do want to have some concussive horses on them. But we have several of them that just live here and go to the horse shows and then come back here. And they stay fitter and continue to show. Whereas prior to doing this, they were constantly seeing the vet for one issue or another. And their issues have reduced tremendously.
Well, Dr. Mark, thank you so much for joining us here on the Dressage Radio Show. We look forward to having you back again next month to talk about another modality. I sound like I know what the hell I'm talking about now. Modality.
We know better.
I sound good. See all these things I learned on the show? Well, we appreciate that. It's equineperformax.com, and we'll post links on our Facebook page and also in our show notes as well. Thank you, Dr. Mark.
Thank you. It was very nice talking to you all.
We all know the importance of deworming our horses, and Dr. Ellefson of By Media Equine is helping us make sure we are doing it right. Listen for his 4-part series the first week of every month on this very show. I just wanted to remind everyone, if you are due for deworming, why not save a few bucks on the popular By Media line of wormers, including Equimax, Bimectin, Exodus, Exodus Multidosed, and Equal. You can find coupons and special offers at BuyMediaEquine.com, including a variety of rebate offers from cash to free ivermectin. You can also get up to $2 a dose back for Equimax. And while you're at By Media Equine, get your free horse health record keeper, and you can just download it there. Plus, learn a bunch about parasites and deworming at By Media, that's BIMEDA, equine.com. We at the Horse Radio Network all use By Media dewormers because we want the best for our horses, and we know you want the best for yours too. BuyMediaEquine.com and tell them the Horse Radio Network sent you.
Well, everybody, I know you're so looking forward to Philip's mom because it's awesome. But before that, we are going to have Genay Vaughn. She is a U25 rider that just got awarded one of the grants to go to Europe. So we look forward to her continued success and listening to her interview. Well, it is our pleasure this evening to have Genay Vaughn. She is a California girl, and she just was invited to the USET Foundation grant to train in Europe and compete in the U25 division. Genay, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, I was thrilled. I've known you since you were a junior. I think we competed at Gladstone together. So I've been watching your career develop, and I was so thrilled you won this grant. So tell us a little bit about your idea to apply and about your horse. Just kind of fill us in on everything.
Okay, well, this is my second time doing the under 25 division. I did the first under 25 division in 2013 and won reserve champion at Gladstone, or in Kentucky, but the Festival of Champions. And then I just decided to do Grand Prix the following year because of school. The dates didn't work out with finals. And then I decided, I heard they would be doing a European tour, and I would really want to try out for that. So I came back down to the under 25, and, they've been doing this whole pipeline series of clinics. And I started to go to those, and they said, you could apply for the developing program, and that's where it first started. I sent in my application for the developing program, and that's where they kind of watch the riders, help coach at the competitions, and see how you do there, and then they'll invite you to their clinics and observe you, and then if you do well in the clinics, it kind of helps them pick the team along with your competition scores. And that's where it all started out, and how they chose me.
So you must have been working with Debbie McDonald a little bit, right?
Yeah. Debbie and Robert. I mean, sometimes Debbie couldn't make it to the CDIs out here, so Robert would watch and then report back to Debbie, or like the other coaches that were involved in the U.S. coach team.
And how would you describe their training style and their help for you and your horse?
Oh, I absolutely love having lessons with Debbie. She was amazing. She really makes you want to do your best, but keeps it fun and encouraging at the same time. And, she does what's best for you and the horse and makes it nice and effective.
Well, tell our listeners about your horse because he's fantastic.
Yeah, so Donnerweiss is a 2001 stallion, so he's turning 14. He's Hanoverian. I first bought him in 2010, so we've been together 4 years. And before, he was with Chris Hickey at Hilltop, and then someone saw me, and they were just like, "Oh wow, you're so like petite. Are you looking for a horse?" Because I was looking for a horse, but I went to Germany and didn't find anything that I really connected with. And so we were kind of just looking in the U.S., and someone actually saw me and was like, "There's this stallion that I don't know if he's for sale or not, but I really think you guys would be a great team together." And they've only seen me ride twice, and so I went up to Hilltop and tried him and fell in love with him, and started Young Riders that year, and we made it onto the team as the anchor rider, and I think we got Team Silver that year, so it was really fun. And then we moved up to Brentina Cups the next year, and now we're here, and he's just such a sweet boy. He's really like a puppy dog at the barn. He'll let you lead him around. He doesn't act like a stallion. I mean, people have to double check when they see him in the crossbred. It's like, is that a stallion? Because he literally he's so friendly, doesn't even blink an eye at a mare. He's just a really good boy, and he loves what he does. Like Debbie always says, he's an overachiever, and Kathleen Rain says he's like an overachiever, and he tries his hardest and never throws a fit or does anything. So I just really enjoy riding him.
So Genay, we know that you just sort of found out that you've won this grant, but can you tell us anything about your plans or what you're thinking about when timeline wise and stuff when you go to Europe?
Yeah, so far they've told me that they believe we're going to compete in France, and I think they're looking around CDI in Duval and Nice, and it's going to be at the end of July and the beginning of August are our two CDIs picked so far. And that's just, provisional, so we don't know for sure, but I also want to go over there and train, so that's going to be something fun to do also.
Yeah, no, that'll be fantastic. Is this the first time you're going to bring a Donnerweiss back? He was imported when he was younger?
No. He's U.S. bred.
Oh, how cool is that?
Yeah,
that's
by
awesome.
Rachel Elrich. So it's really fun. I'm excited to have
Excellent.
A U.S. bred horse representing the U.S. It's pretty fun.
That's fantastic. So what is your ultimate goal with him?
I think I'm just taking it step by step, and this was our goal for this year, to make it to Europe. And then after I see how the European competitions go, I would love to move up and keep representing the U.S. On teams in the future. That's my big goal. So we'll see how it goes in Europe, and then after that, I think we'll just set a new goal and try to accomplish that.
That's fantastic. Well, you do such a beautiful job with them, and we are going to be watching you on your trip to Europe and wishing you well through the whole U25. Who else is on your team that also won the grants?
It's Chase Hickock and Sagacious. They only chose 2 for the under 25, but I'm really excited to go with her.
Fantastic. And who is the Young Rider team going?
I believe it's Aiden Ollier, Catherine Chamberlain, BB Davis, and Grand McConna is the horse's name, and Cassidy Gallman is the rider's name.
Oh, fantastic. So there's quite a nice team of...
That's a good group.
Yeah, that's going to be a great group. A lot of friends of our show are going to Europe, so that makes us happy.
I'm so excited. And, thank you to Kiko Yamazaki and all the other donors who, made this possible, because I don't think any of us would be able to go without them.
Fantastic. Well, Genay, thanks so much for coming on the show. And if our listeners want to get in touch with you or help at all with the trip, how would they do that?
I have an email or a Facebook, and my email is janayvaughn@me.com. So they could message me there, or they could message me on Facebook. I'm pretty good about responding. And yeah, that would be awesome if they have any questions, or if they want to help donate, because I'm applying for more scholarships and grants now, because it's just pricey, but it's a once in a lifetime
it's
trip.
a huge cost. It's a huge cost.
Going to Europe. And so if anybody wants more information on how to donate, they can also go to the USCT Foundation. They will also help. But Robert Dover and Akiko, everyone really worked very, very hard this year to send all of our riders over there. We have a group over there now. So
it's kind of a U.S. invasion.
Yeah, of Europe. I love it.
They sent the main teams, and now they're sending all kinds of, little young riders and under 25 riders. Everybody gets to go. There'll be nobody left in America.
Well, we wish you luck, Genay, and stay in touch with us, okay? I know I'll stay in touch with you through Facebook, and we want to hear how it goes when you guys get home.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, next on the show, as promised, for 1 year, Suzanne Parks, Philip's mom, is on the show, brought to you by Mother's Day and TotalSaddleFit.com.
Total Saddle Fit, the shoulder relief girth that Reese and Philip both love. And here's why.
The saddle fit solution you have been waiting for is finally here. TotalSaddleFit.com is proud to introduce the shoulder relief girth. This strategically shaped girth actually moves the girth line of your saddle back over 1 inch, thereby freeing your horse's shoulders from the saddle. Traditional girths pull saddles up against a horse's shoulders and often over the top of the shoulders. The shoulder relief girth's recessed ends allow for the billets to buckle into the girth farther back to give your horse unparalleled freedom of motion. We are so certain that your saddle will fit better and your horse will be more comfortable that for a limited time we are offering a 30-day, 110% money-back guarantee. If you are not totally satisfied with your shoulder relief girth, send it back for a full refund plus 10% of the purchase price. Don't wait. Order now for the best saddle fit solution available.
At TotalSaddleFit.com. Visit TotalSaddleFit.com.
Well, in honor of Mother's Day, tonight we have Susan Parks, Philip's mom, on. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be on the show.
Well, Glenn and I have been looking forward to this moment for
we've kicked
like a
Philip
year.
out. He's not allowed to talk. It's just us.
I think Philip was kind of dreading it, but
because he knows us.
Yes, exactly. He knows the situation. But you've got to start. I mean, when was like the first time Philip sat on a horse or looked like he was excited to see horses and ride?
We actually bought a small farm down near the Windsor area, and he was around 8 years old. And I bought it. It was just for me because I love the horses, and I actually was born on a farm. So we bought the farm, and it was 20 acres. We had a couple of crappy horses, but you just see his eyes light up. Just when he looked at them, it was like love at first sight. Even though they were, worn down old quarter horses that we got for nothing, he just loved them. And then we bought it was just like so many inappropriate horses. It wasn't even funny.
Yeah, but that's how they learn to stay on. That's how they learn to stay on, right? They get a good seat. Yeah.
We got an Appaloosa with no tail, and we thought he would be a cowboy.
Did he have a little cowboy hat and cowboy boots?
No, he just had the cowboy saddle. He always had the helmet. But we took him out, and the horse, because the horse was used to the guy falling off and getting drunk, falling off, and then he'd run back home. He ran Philip back home. It was so scary. On the road, he stayed on the whole way.
Philip forgot to fall off. See, that's what he just forget.
Yeah.
How old was he when the Appaloosa took him back to the barn?
He was about 9 or 10, I think.
Oh my gosh, that would have been scary.
Yeah, it was very scary. And we bought a couple of...
It's a ride or die situation. It was the survival of a fittest. My mom is a Darwinist,
Well, that's made you tough, man. This is explaining so much about you. I can't even say. This is good. I love it.
Then we had a couple of inappropriate thoroughbreds.
Oh no! What were these like?
Yeah, well, the one there, we still have her, and that was 22, 24 years ago. We still have her, and she's given us a few nice babies. But the one that was his best show horse was Roscoe. His name was actually Primrose, and we took him all over the place, and we took him to Michigan. It was great, and he did a couple of things before the show because he got excited, so he jumped straight up in the air, and Philip sat on, and he just laughed and laughed. And when he went into the ring, he was perfect. But it was just that first, you get on, and the horse jumps all 4 feet off the ground. It was incredible.
That still happens from what I hear, Philip.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens when your first dressage horse is a thoroughbred who'd raced for 7 years. I mean, talk about
Welcome to Kentucky, buddy. Welcome to Kentucky.
That's why I want to enter that. Train your racehorse to do something and win some money.
I love it. Yeah. Yes, next year, buddy.
Yeah, we're doing that.
We're doing that. I love it.
But it wasn't just me, Reese. It wasn't just me that put him on bad horses. After a while, people got to know that he could ride well.
Oh, no.
So they'd find these horses that nobody else could ride.
And put him on him.
And put him on, and off he go.
There's been a few times when we went horse shopping, I was like, yeah, Philip can get on the horse first. I'm not, no way.
Yeah, see,
nope.
You too.
Throw him up there and see how he does.
Apparently,
carry on the tradition.
Yeah. Did you ever break a bone? Did he ever break a bone? How many emergency room visits did you have?
Why would you ask that, man?
Well, because I think it's
extremely bad luck.
No broken bones.
I have no breaks. Yeah.
Really?
No breaks? Oh, I fell off and broke my arm on my first
god, Philip.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like 4 concussions.
Yeah.
that explains it
so much.
My bones work good, but my brain doesn't.
That makes sense. So much.
Well, he came through it all, and now he teaches people not to fall off.
Okay, I have a question for you because we always talk about this with the girls coming up through their teenage years. We always say parents should get their girls involved with horses because they then don't date guys till later on. They don't notice guys for a long time because they're too busy with the horses. Did that happen with Philip, that he wasn't noticing girls till later?
No, because he had all the girls in the barn.
What's the opposite of that? Yeah.
Yeah.
The smartest guy
like
ever.
The girls were, we had a barn with 24 stalls, and there were many boarders and many co-boarders, and all the boys would be around our house.
They all were intra horses, weren't they, Philip? Competitive horse dancing.
All of a sudden, everybody wanted to come to Philip's house.
So yeah, amazing. You had all these young men around helping in the barn. I bet they were very helpful.
Except for when it came to throwing hay.
I was just going to say, did you ever get them?
When hay comes around, huh?
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to ask, did they stick around for hay duty?
No.
Oh, that's fantastic. So what is the funniest story you can tell us about Philip?
Philip, funny story. Oh, there's a few of those. But do you know what the name Philip means?
No.
It means lover of horses.
Really? No kidding.
It was destiny, right?
I didn't
predetermined.
Predetermined. That's super cool. I love it. So you're not gonna throw him under the bus. Your mom is too nice to you, Philip.
Yeah, no good stories.
No, I
that's reserved for friends and family.
Oh my goodness! And you still, I know you still help Philip with all the young horses today. You're still very active with helping Philip and his horses.
I leave them around.
Fired last year. Didn't I fire you last year?
You also fired Meredith too, so I don't know.
His wife.
That's true.
Jeez. I don't want to. I'm not going up there.
We can feel lucky. We haven't been fired yet.
No. Jeez, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, I can tell you something about Philip that I probably will embarrass him, but we were walking up at Palgrave when we were walking with a friend, and he said, "I'm the boss of me." except for when Meredith's around.
That's true of all of us guys, I got to tell you.
Yeah,
Everybody knows
Yeah,
that.
that's a husband thing.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's universal.
I just looked it up, and you're absolutely right. Philip was the name of one of the 5 kings of Macedon and the father of Alexander the Great. And it means
There you go.
it means friend of horses. I didn't know
There
that.
you go.
Philip with one L. Yep.
Learn something
look
new
at
every day.
that.
Yeah, look at that.
Was
Yeah.
planned? Was that planned at all when you named him?
No,
No.
we didn't have horses at that time. No.
I always thought because there wasn't 2 L's, you just spelled it wrong on the birth certificate.
Excuse me.
No, that's the British way, Glenn.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
We're getting our culture today.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah. If you spell it with 2 L's, that's the surname.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, interesting.
Huh.
I love
Yeah,
it.
there you go.
Well, Susan, thank you so much for coming on, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there and every mom that has
Yeah.
carted their kids around and takes them to horse
The
shows.
horse
And
shows.
yes, we've all been there in the rain and the snow, especially in Canada.
And trying to braid those horses.
And
They
clean
don't
them
wanna
up.
stand still.
Oh.
Yeah.
Goodness. So-
Especially when you've got a grey one.
yes. I don't think if I ever had kids, I would not have a gray pony. I can just tell you that right now. No way. Nope.
All right, Reese. Well, it was lovely to talk to you guys.
Thank you,
Thanks
Susan.
for coming on the show.
Okay. You take care.
All right,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye. Reese, she wasn't giving up any of the good stuff.
I know.
I think
thought we
Philip had
tried.
like had a lead rope around her neck or something.
Chain
it was like,
shake.
yeah, it's like, don't you say it or I'll
Didn't
pull.
bribe her. I
She
didn't
said
bribe her.
whatever
No,
she
I should have bribed. I'm just saying. There
you
should have been
brought
some
of those French pastries home,
I
and
know.
we would have gotten all the good stuff.
macaroons,
I
some
know.
macaroons or something.
I
Yeah,
know.
I know. I tried, everybody.
Well,
But-
we apologize to the audience. We blew it, obviously.
Our
But we did
opportunity.
learn that Philip started young with the ladies. We did learn that.
I kind of thought that.
Yeah. No surprise.
Yes, but he ended up with the right one.
That's
He
right.
ended up with the right
Exactly.
one.
Exactly.
I mean, even though she's been fired, apparently,
Yeah, well, I mean.
she's obviously been rehired again. All right, well, let's do this. I have one thing I wanted to talk about and encourage people to do. If you have never listened to the Driving Radio Show, we did a special episode this week. It is our 4th anniversary, Dr. Wendy Ying and I, for doing the Driving Radio Show. We started in May of 2011.
Wow.
And it's been a lot of fun along the way. We had a fun show just chatting, and we also talked about Dr. Wendy came up for the weekend last weekend, and I had my first driving lesson ever with Wendy.
Really?
And, yeah, and we got to drive a couple of days and do.
Did she tell you you're doing it wrong?
No, actually, she was like, "You got this pretty good." I said, "Well, I've never had a lesson." She said, "Well, then you figured it out naturally because I really have nothing to
There
say."
you go. Trial and
That's
error.
awesome.
Yeah,
Trial
so
and
that was
errors.
fun, and Scooter was great. The little Hackney I rescued was
boy.
terrific, and he's looking all fat and happy. And we also had one of the most interesting people on. He's a regular guest on the Driving Radio Show. His name's Barry Dickinson, and he is a walking encyclopedia of all things horse. He just knows everything there is to know. It's unbelievable when you talk to him. And he came on to talk about Hackney ponies, and he gave me the lineage of mine, and then he talked about Hackney ponies through history, and it was just the most fascinating thing. He's just so
Cool.
neat to talk to.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
If we have a topic we want to find out the history on, we just let Barry know, and
Oh,
he
yeah.
just comes on and just knows all this stuff.
That's awesome.
Who
Cool.
needs the internet? Who needs Google when you got?
Yes, we
I
got
know.
Barry.
Right
We
people.
got
Yeah,
Barry.
Barry.
I said, Barry, it was so funny. I said, Barry, how do you know all this stuff? And he said, well, that's what God gave you a brain for. It's like,
Very
I
simply.
like him
right?
already.
Very
I like him
simply.
obviously,
already.
I missed on that front. God forgot me in the lineup because I don't know what Barry knows. But
Yeah.
drivingradioshow.com if you want to check it out. Wendy is a hoot. You'll love the show.
Well, congratulations. That's fantastic, Glenn. 4 years is fantastic. It's very cool.
Yep. Very good.
Well, excellent. Everybody keep your emails and Facebook shout outs coming. We will next week we have a listener question in the queue already. So we will work on that for next week. And you can find our show notes and links to today's guests on our website at dressageradio.com. Like us on Facebook, just search Dressage Radio Show. Follow us on Twitter at Horse Radio. My website is maplecrestfarmky.com, and my email is reese@horseradionetwork.com.
You can find me at philipparksequestrian.com, and my email is philip@horseradionetwork.com. I'd like to thank our sponsors this week for allowing us to put on a great show. And don't forget to check out all the other shows on the Horse Radio Network at horseradionetwork.com.
Everybody, keep your heels down and your shoulders back, and we will talk to you next week.